Hello, this is Mr. Doreen, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to find information and cite sources in Google Docs. First, open a new web browser and go to gmail.com. Next, if you don't have a place to type in your email, click on Add Account right here. Then type in your email address and password. And click on Sign In. Next, click on the little squares you see on the upper right hand corner up here. Then find the Drive icon and click on it. Now find the story research document you uploaded earlier and click on it to open it. Notice that I added my name and number here and here, as you can see. Make sure you add your name and number in case you haven't already done so. Okay, so the purpose of story research and this assignment is to find ideas, details, descriptions, concrete words, and specific information that you can add to your story to make it a lot more interesting. The purpose of citing your sources is to show where you got your information from and give credit to the source. You don't want to take someone's work or ideas without giving them credit because that is plagiarism or stealing. That is why you must cite the sources you find. On this document, the directions say, right here, number 1, research and find at least 2 pieces of information or ideas that you plan on using in your story from a minimum of 2 different sources. Number 2 says, in table 1 is right here, write the topic and notes or ideas that you plan to use in your story from the sources you find. In table 2 is down here, make a list of the sources you will use. Use the elementary works cited format sheet to cite your sources properly to show what resources you identified. And last part, number 4, in table 1, write the source number that matches the source number, the citation or reference, from table 2 in order to show where you got that piece of information or idea from. Okay, so I'm going to show you an easy way to do all of these steps right here in Google Docs. First, type a specific topic or a word or phrase you want to learn more about for your story right here where it says topic. For example, if my story is about a butterfly and I want to learn more about the color of butterflies for my story, I can type the phrase color of butterflies right here. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how to find information for that. As an example here for topic, make sure that you write something specific. Don't just write, like, for example, butterflies. You need to be more specific about what you want to learn for for your story. For example, I could type migration of butterflies. I could type life cycle of butterflies. I could type where different butterflies come from, or types of butterflies, or names of butterflies, or things that I want to learn more about for my story. Okay, so once you type your specific word or phrase, go ahead and highlight it. Okay, and then right click or 2-finger tap if you're on a Chromebook and select research. Notice how it says research right here and click on it. As you can see, some information on your topic appears on the right hand side over here. You can scroll down to see more. Okay, you see all this information comes up on that topic that you typed in. So you can read the descriptions under the links. As you can see, there's descriptions right here. You can read the descriptions under the links, and when you find one that you think has good information, just click on the link to visit the page like this. So if I want to visit this one, I'll click on it and it opens in a new page, and then it gives me the page with the information. Okay, you can skim and read until you find some useful information that you can use to add to your story. If you don't find anything useful, you can just close this one and go back and go ahead and click on another link, like for example right here. Okay, so that's just an example. So I don't really want this one right here. I want to go back to the other one. So I'll just go back and click on this one. But that's what you can do. You can go back and click on the other links. Then skim and read again until you find some information that you can use. When you find something that you think you can use in your story, go ahead and highlight it. For now, I'm just going to put an example. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Let's say if I read this and I like this, I want to use it. I can go ahead and copy it. Okay, and then go ahead and go back into your document, and right here where it says research, notes, or ideas I will use in my story, go ahead and click here, and then right click or two-finger tap if you're on a Chromebook and click paste. Okay, as you can see, I pasted my information here. Okay, since we took this information from an article on a website, we need to make sure we give credit to that website and show where that information came from. That is called citing your source. To do that, place your cursor after the information you pasted. So my cursor is already here. If it's not there, I can just click here and it'll be there. And then hover over the source where you got the information from. So I got my information from here. Notice when I hover, you'll notice a button that says Cite. You see right here it says Cite. Go ahead and click on it. Okay, as you can see, a little number appears right here. This number refers to the citation that is listed below right here. So if I go down, now this citation is listed right here. This shows where I got my information from. Okay, so this shows that the information came from this source. So this information right here came from this source. If anyone wants to see where you got your information from or has a question about it, they'll be able to go to the source and review it for themselves. That way they know that you didn't just take the information, that you actually are giving credit to the author or the website where you got it. So go ahead and copy and paste the citation into table 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this like this. I'm going to go ahead and right click or two-finger tap, copy it, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it right here into references. So paste. So you can see references, source where I found the information or ideas I will use in my story. Okay, and then okay, we copied and pasted in table 2. Write the source number right here. Oh, it already has source number 1. Okay, so now in table 1, write the source number that matches the source where you got the information from in table 2. So I got this information from this source, so I'm going to write, this is source number 1, I'm going to write 1 right here. That tells me that this information right here comes from this source down here. Okay. If you got more than one piece of information from the same source, just add the information in a separate row in table 1 and add the same source number. Okay, as you can see in this example. Let me open up an example and I'll show you. Okay, so I was working on this one earlier and I have more information here. Okay, so you can see how I went back to the website. I went back to the website where I was getting that information and I found more information on the color of butterflies. I added here, and since I got this from the same source or the same website, I went ahead and I put number 1. So these two, this one and this one, both came from the same source. Okay, and as you can see, I went ahead and I typed in another topic like butterflies video. I'll show you what happens if I click on butterflies video. I'll go ahead and I'll highlight and right click and select on research. Okay, and as you notice, now I get some links to videos. If I click on this one, notice how it takes me now to a video on butterflies. And I can also watch this video and get information and just go over here and then type the information that I got from the video and then go over here and then click on Cite, and it's going to put this little number 2 here, and it's going to tell me that I'll go ahead and copy it, paste it, put it here. And then I put 2 here, and that tells me that this information came from source number 2 right here. Okay, so that's an example. If you need to add more rows to your tables, just click to place your cursor in the table. Okay, so for example, let's say I want to add another, let's say I found more information from the video, and I want to add another row right here. So just put the cursor right here. So click on the table. Where you want the cursor to be, and then go ahead up here and click on table right there, and either click on insert row above or insert row below, And as you can notice, it added another row right here. And I can go ahead and write the source number, the topic, and then add the information there. Okay. If you want to delete it, just go ahead and, if you want to delete the row, just go ahead and highlight the whole row. Go ahead and right click, and then click where it says delete row. Okay. If you get your information from a book or an article that is not on the internet, like if you go to the library or if you go to a bookstore and you buy a book, you can go ahead and click on this link right here, and it's going to show you how to cite a book. Okay, so use this elementary works cited format sheet. Just go ahead and click on it, and then click on this link. Okay, and then this right here will give you examples of how to cite your sources. Okay, and just to show you really quickly, you can also go to the lesson where you were over here on story research, and there's also a link right here that says elementary works cited format sheet. Click on it, and it's also a link to the same sheet. Since I already have it open over here, I'll just close it. Okay. So for example, let's say I found a book called Caterpillar to Butterfly by Laura Marsh. Maybe I went to the bookstore and I got the book, or I went to the library. If I wanted to cite that book, I look under book right here on the elementary works cited format sheet. Okay, and I use the information. Notice how they have this information right here, and then they have an example. So I can use this right here. I can use the information and example to cite my source. So when you use this sheet, just add your citations to table 2. Okay, so for example, for the book, I'm going to put the author's excuse me, I'm going to put the author's last name and then the first name and the title underlined and then the year. Okay, and then they show an example right here. So let me go back and show you how I did that. So here's the one that I have. Here it is. Oh, here it is, yeah. Caterpillar to Butterfly, and notice how I wrote the last name of the author first. Her name is Laura Marsh, but her last name is Marsh, so I put that first, then a comma, then Laura with a period. I put a space, and then Caterpillar to Butterfly is underlined. There's a period, and then the year. And if you notice, that's exactly how it tells me to do it over here. Notice the spaces and the commas and the periods and the underline, and then this example. So I did it exactly like that. And I just look in the book for the information, the title of the author, the title, and the year. Okay. So when I go ahead and I write that information here, so in table 2, right here is where I write my sources, and then just go ahead and write the source number. So it's number 3, and then go back up to table 1 and make sure you put the source number 3 to match where you got that information from. So this information right here, the stages of the butterfly, this came from this book. So that's why I put 3 to match this. That way I know that this came from this right here. Okay. So now you can use the information and ideas you found to add details, descriptions, concrete words, and specific information to make your story a lot more interesting. Just make sure that you do not copy these sentences into your story. So this is just for research. This is not something I'm going to copy and paste into my story. Just get ideas and excuse me. Just get ideas and use your own words. Excuse me. So just make sure that you do not copy these sentences into your story. Just get ideas and use your own words from the information you found. Okay. So now that you know how, find information and ideas that you can use in your story and cite your sources like I just showed you. If you missed something, play this video again to see and hear what you missed. If you have already completed the steps on this video, go on to the next step. Once again, this is Mr. Doreen. Thanks for following along, and now go find information and cite your sources.